Hi, thanks for dropping by the channel today. We've got a great episode for you. We're going to be talking about the brand new Fujifilm 70-300. I'm going to be doing a number of comparisons with the 70-300. Not only with the 55-200, but I'm also going to be comparing this lens with the 100-400. Now, I've done a little bit of testing so far, and so far the lenses look very, very nice to me. The only problem I've had is I've shot some sports with it, and I've noticed some variances that I'm not really happy with, and I'll show you a full. I'm going to do a full episode on shooting sports with this lens, and hopefully I'm going to do some birding with it too, and with the 1.4x extender. So there's lots more episodes coming out. This is just episode 1 with testing this lens out. So by the time you've seen 2, 3, 4 of these videos, you're going to have a very good idea whether or not this lens fits for you. The reviews I've seen so far are very positive for this lens. I know there's a couple of people that have really rated it very highly, and one guy that likes it a lot but still doesn't fit his needs. So let's look at some of the things that really make this particular lens special. One of them is this lock feature, which I just pointed out, and the other one is it's weather resistant, and this little focus limiter right here, it's awesome, and you really should use it if you're going to use stuff that's far away from you, so the lens doesn't have to rack all the way out to focus. So it's just got a limited amount of space to focus in. Shooting sports and birding and things like that, wildlife and landscape, very important to do that.
The first thing I did was head out for a sunrise shoot over at Straitsmouth Island, where the headlands in Rockport. And the first shot here, I wanted to make sure that I shot it at 300 or 450, and I shot it wide open. Then the next one, I made sure I did it at f8, and they're both beautiful, both nice and sharp. So the next thing I did was head over to Rockport Harbor, and I wanted to shoot everything wide open. So all of these shots are wide open, and they're all beautiful, nice and sharp all the way around. Pretty amazing for a lens with a focal length distance of 70-300. As you can see here, nice and sharp, the hull and the reflection. And also with this shot here, I love the way the reflection looks, and I was able to get that nice and sharp, even wide open at f5. And this next shot of the wreaths on the door of the Baptist church, boy, they're crisp as can be, and it's shot wide open. Of course, the plane of focus is pretty short as well. Now this image is shot through a window, so it's a little bit milky, but you know what? It's nice and sharp right on the plane of focus here, which is right in front, the tiger here and the figure behind him. It's unbelievable. It's beautiful, nice and sharp all the way through, wide open. Pretty amazing. Now this shot here, the plane of focus is right in the foreground on the lobster buoys with a net over it. Nice and sharp, wide open. As you can see, the background goes out of focus, and I'll tell you, that background is nice and creamy. The bokeh is beautiful. Now this next shot here is also wide open, and what I did with these two shots here is I made one with shot at a shorter focal length and then with a longer focal length, both of them wide open, and they're both nice and sharp. Now, these next two images, what I wanted to show was the depth of field change and how sharp it is wide open and how sharp it is at f8. This one is at f8. The next one is at f4. You can see that it goes out of focus here in the right-hand corner with the lobster trap. In the previous one, it was nice and sharp. Beautiful rendering. The background is just absolutely stunning. I love the bokeh. This next vertical shot is actually pretty nice at f8, and it's shot at 70, and I'm telling you, it's sharp all the way through. It's a beautiful, beautiful image. Now, these next two images of this little lobster buoy is very close. This is the closest focus you can get with this lens. It's shot at 70. This first shot was at f4. This shot is at f8. Unbelievable. Really sharp. Very, very sharp. Pin focus on the center of the image. Unbelievable. Now, this next image here is actually the closest you can focus at 300. And I shot this at f8, and it's sharp all the way around where the plane of focus is. Now the cool thing about this shot, even though it's shot at 450 millimeter equivalent full frame, it's shot at a 30th of a second, so the OIS is really working well with this combination with the X-T3. So this next shot here gives you a little frame of reference what I was photographing. This was shot at 70 at f8, also at a 30th of a second. Now this shot here is just an abstract, also shot at f8 of a painting that was outside of one of the stores on Bearskin Neck. So all these shots here of my dog Like are all wide open, shot wide open. So, and they're very, very close, so that the plane of focus is really, really short, and it's basically on the bridge of her nose. So they came out really well. The first one was shot at a 15th of a second, so the OIS works really, really well with this lens. I kind of like these shots of my pup. Over the weekend to shoot some football with the 7300 and the X-T3. Now, these are shot at 5.6, somewhere in that range, and a 1,000th of a second. And you can see with this first image, the lens immediately had trouble picking up the runner right off the bat. Now, it looks like it's kind of focused on the background, but you can see as I scroll through these, it's starting to pick them up. This looks like it might be a little bit sharper. This is much sharper. Then we're going to go through the rest of these, and you can see that it's sharp all the way through. This one looks like it might be a little bit out, but it's loading. All right, so this one's sharp. Next one's sharp. Next one's sharp. 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 But as you can see, the lens is keeping up. Once it locked on, it did a good job of keeping him in focus. And as you can see, he was going side to side, which is the easiest thing for it to do. Then running at me, it's a little bit more difficult for the lens to work. I've got the focus limiting switch on in this instance. You can see this is another one, nice and sharp. Boy, these really came out nice. Here's the one I turned in, but I cropped it. Sharp. Okay, this one's sharp. Now, as he got closer to me, I wanted to zoom out, and I held down my focus on the shutter button. And you'll see what happens. Look at this. I probably missed, and because it looks like it's sharp in the background. So what happened was the lens focused out, and then it really went out, and it was trying to figure out what was going on. So I missed this great shot here. I missed this shot. Missed this shot. Missed this shot completely, but you can see I was trying to zoom out. So the lens is having a lot of trouble focusing if you've got continuous focus going on at the same time that you're trying to zoom in or out. Okay, so it's starting to come back again. And there is this image is sharp. But as you can see, it took it a little bit of time. Now it went back out again. Still out. And that one's sharp. So as you can see, there are some issues with this lens continuously focusing while you have continuous focus going on. And I've decided that if I'm going to use this lens for football, then I'm definitely going to be, pick a focal range, a focal length, and shoot with that and not worry about it. Because I think it will perform very, very well if I do it that way. Or I zoom without the continuous focus going on at the same time. Just, move my focal length and then shoot again. And, as long as the action's fairly close to where I was, I think it should work pretty well. So my first impressions of shooting with this brand new Fujifilm 70-300 are actually very good. So far I've had no problems with it except for shooting sports, as you just saw in the previous clip. So we're going to continue to do more testing. We're going to compare it with the 55 to 200, and we're also going to compare it with the 100 to 400. And boy, those are both beautiful lenses, and we'll see how this baby stacks up. And so far, it's stacking up pretty good. I can't complain about it at all.
So if you get a chance, please check out my website, kpanphototours.com. We've got some great workshops going on in June. The first one is the Lupine and Waterfall Workshop, which is going on the 7th through the 11th. And I'll tell you, the lupines are just absolutely stunning at this time of year, and the waterfalls are really running, so it's a great time. The Inn at Sunset Hill is a beautiful place to stay. It's an old New England inn. I know you'll enjoy it. The problem with this workshop is that we're running out of time for signups because April, somewhere around the 20th of April is our deadline. So jump right on it if you want to go to this particular workshop. The next one is going on from the 16th to the 20th, and that is in Maine with Bill Fortney. We're doing a lighthouse tour. We're going to be doing about 8 or 9 lighthouses and all the coves and villages in between. It's going to be a great experience and a lot of camaraderie going on. We're going to be staying in Kittery for a couple of nights, then we're going to be staying in Bath for about 2 or 3 nights. It's a great experience, a lot of fun going up the coast of Maine, and I know you'll enjoy it. So if you get a chance, so if you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and actually make a comment. Tell me what you think of this lens so far. Okay, that's it for this week, and we'll catch you next time.